March Madness has arrived and Dalen Cuff has every single game picked. I'm Victoria Arlen. And Dalen, are we getting a 16 spot versus number 1 spot upset this year?
No, we're not getting that. But outside of that, there's basically nothing I can say definitively. So that I do know. Other than that, everything's up for grabs.
Gonzaga versus Georgia State. Who's your pick? And I'm just going to let you take it from there.
Zags, as I just said, no 16 over 1. Zags get through there. Next, Boise State, Memphis. I do think it's a really intriguing game. Penny Hardaway and Memphis' team is playing really much better since Imani Bates has been out of the lineup. It's actually been a little addition by subtraction. They play at a fast pace. They can turn you over. They turn it over a lot. This is a veteran Boise State team. It's really good defensively. Memphis is the favorite per Vegas, but I'm taking Boise State. As we move down, I like UConn to move forward. A great defensive team, well coached by Danny Hurley. Arkansas out of the SEC, they've been very good, very well coached by Eric Musselman as well. That next matchup is going to be great. We'll talk about that in a second. I don't have a pick here yet because we're recording this. We don't have the Rutgers or Notre Dame winner yet. But I will tell you this. If Rutgers is going to win, I take Rutgers over Alabama. If Notre Dame wins, I take Alabama. So you got that. Texas Tech over Montana State. Davidson over Michigan State. Davidson's one of the best shooting teams in the country. Bob McKillop is an outstanding coach. When you start chasing them around, they can unravel quickly. I don't trust the guard play of Michigan State. They still have turnover issues or times. Scoring just isn't easy for them. And Davidson's not a great defensive team, but you're playing against a Michigan State team that at times doesn't get on transition, doesn't score in an easy clip. So I like Davidson an upset there, and I like Duke to take care of Cal State Fullerton and Coach K's last time around in the big dance.
Second round. Who you got winning here?
I got the Zags over Boise State. I think that'll be an interesting matchup. Leon Rice, the coach of Boise State, used to be an assistant with Mark Few at Gonzaga. They know them well, but very different team. And I don't think Boise State can score with them, so I'm taking that. UConn and Arkansas is probably one of the better 4 or 5 matchups I think we're going to see in the tournament. Again, UConn has a great defensive team, but Adama Sanogo, an absolute beast in the interior. RJ Cole's a really good point guard. They've got some depth. A bunch of different guys at times can make plays and make shots for them. Arkansas, though, I do love the fact they play at pace. J.D. Note is one of the best scorers in the country. When they were hot through that run in the SEC, we saw them pull out a lot of close games, have a lot of guys step up. Devo Davis has been better. Jalen Williams. They've got a lot of versatility defensively, too. So I'm actually going to lean Arkansas, although I think a lot of people like UConn, and UConn may be the betting favorite in Vegas if they get to that point. I take Arkansas. As I just said, I don't know who Texas Tech's going to be playing. Doesn't matter. Red Raiders move forward. Give me the Red Raiders. You'll see that become a theme throughout my bracket. I'm big on their team defensively. I'll talk more about them later. Davidson Duke. This could be a tough game. This would be a really tough game. Either one's going to be tough. The committee loves storylines. And Mike Krzyzewski's last time, Coach K's last time around, as I mentioned, you have the potential of him coaching against Tom Izzo, another Hall of Famer in Michigan State, or Bob McKillop, another guy that should be or will be in the Hall of Fame. An outstanding coach, but a very different team you got here. So if I have Davidson winning, they can, again, score it. If Duke's got them chasing, they're chasing Duke around, just like Virginia Tech had Duke just chasing around the court in the ACC final, and they can't respond and exploit some mismatches that they will have on the offensive end. I could see Duke losing. However, they're not. I think they win this game, but it'll be a game that tests them for sure.
All right, let's talk about the Sweet 16. Any shockers here?
Not the Sweet 16 for me. I got the Zags beating Arkansas. I think that'd be a really fun game, played up and down at a good tempo. I'm not sure Arkansas has the physicality to take Gonzaga out of what they want to do, and I think that's an important piece to beat them. Oh, maybe this is a shocker for folks because I have Texas Tech beating Duke. Now, this is how high I think of Texas Tech. To me, that's not shocking at all. Actually, I think that's. I'm very interested to see where Vegas has the line there. Now, when Vegas has the lines laid out, it's not always just who's going to win. Their job is to find the right number to get money on equal sides betting either way. So the brand is baked in. The situation is baked in. So Duke might be the favorite. Makes me love Texas Tech even more. I think Texas Tech they are veteran, they are physical, they are the best defensive team in the country per efficiency metrics. They keep you on one side of the court. They take you out of what you want to do. They don't make you feel comfortable. They take away your space. If the game is officiated loosely, this is really important, Victoria. If the game is officiated tight, Big 12 teams in general are going to struggle because they're physical and Big 10 teams too. And if they officiate them tight, that can be different. Those two leagues let a lot of stuff go that don't go in the ACC, don't go in the Pac-12. So that's an important thing to note. That said, still like Texas Tech. Offensively, they've really developed through the course of the year. Bryson Williams is outstanding, and he's continued to emerge. TJ Shannon, they're not as dependent on him anymore. Kevin McCullough's been great as well, and others. So I like Texas Tech beating the Blue Devils and sending Coach K out in his swan song in the Sweet 16.
Oh, so sad, but so good. Okay, we're gonna go Elite Eight. Gonzaga, Texas Tech. Who's moving on to the Final Four?
Rematch. We saw this game play out in December, and Gonzaga won that game. But I think Texas Tech has the recipe. When you can take Gonzaga out of what they want to do in terms of their flow offensively, when you can challenge them physically and make them grind into a half-court game and take away their space where they cannot make it a beautiful ballet at times where it's just look guys passing, cutting, scoring, and making it look easy. When it's hard, when it's physical in the exterior, and we saw St. Mary's do it to them on the interior a couple weekends ago, they can struggle offensively. So I think that physical challenge, again, is a key piece. I like Texas Tech moving forward to the Final Four.
My bracket would be completely busted if that's the case. But moving on, we're going to move to the East region. Baylor, Norfolk State. Who do you got?
Bear in mind, Victoria, everything I say is probably inaccurate. But guess
no,
what?
you're the expert here, not me.
I know the expert. I get paid whether they're right or wrong. So that's good for me because they're not always right. So let's go. We'll keep it rolling. To the East, Baylor moving forward. UNC Marquette is a really interesting game. I'm going to lean UNC, but I can easily see them losing this game. Marquette is a scrappy team. Shaka Smart's done a really good job with that group. Justin Lewis has been really good. If they can take Armando Bacot, they can mitigate him, and there is more depth for the Golden Eagles. They can definitely win this game, but I'm going to take the Tar Heels. St. Mary's, this is another one of those we don't know, Wyoming or Indiana. If it's Wyoming, I'm going to take St. Mary's most likely. If it's Indiana, I might take IU. I do think Trace Jackson Davis can battle Matthias Toss. I'm going to take the guard play of Xavier Johnson's playing at a high level recently over the St. Mary's guards who are better, and I know that. That would be one of my 12-5 picks, so I would take IU, but we'll wait and see. UCLA, Final Four run. All those guys are back. I'm taking them to beat Akron. Virginia Tech and Texas. This one I battled with, and it's not just because Virginia Tech won the ACC tournament and they're hot. It's because they got how they play. They space you out. They got guys that can make shots. Their bigs are very versatile, and as are Texas's bigs. I know that, but it kind of goes the same thing I said before. Big 12. If they let them get up in their grill, Virginia Tech loses this game. If Virginia Tech's able to play through the physicality and the refs help them a little bit in it in terms of how they officiate these things, I think Virginia Tech could win. But I think this is like a coin flip game. I know I'm putting it on wax right now. I may change it when I actually do it. Just let's be real, folks. This is the only one I'll say that with. This may change. Purdue against Yale. It's a terrible matchup for Yale. Purdue's got those bigs. They're physical, and Yale likes to be physical. That works in the Ivy League. It's not going to work at this level with Purdue in that size. So Purdue moves forward. Murray State and San Francisco, one of the most intriguing matchups. I hate that the committee put them together. I wish they would have had them different. Did play different 7 and 10 teams. That said, I like Murray State going forward. Racers have had a fantastic year, won 20 straight, got great guard play. I think they can handle Todd Golden's team. Kentucky rolling past St. Peter's.
What direction do you see the second round going?
It's tough. Baylor's been banged up. We know that. They're playing with injuries. They're not playing without Jonathan Chamwa-Chachua. He's been out for a couple weeks now. They still found a way to win a piece of the Big 12 title, which is the best conference in the country. If it is UNC, I think that's a tough matchup. I still favor Baylor, primarily because of the intangibles. Championship team that's going to fight back. UNC at times is not, outside that Duke game, has not always shown the mettle to be able to take a punch back. So I'm going to take Baylor there. I like UCLA moving on over Indiana. So UCLA moves on. Virginia Tech, Purdue, I'll take Purdue. And then Kentucky over Murray, I'll take Kentucky. I'm so chalky. I just looked down at this bracket. This bracket stinks. It's so chalky. It's not going to work out like this. So I might need to go back and spice it up more. I'm taking Baylor. I'm taking Baylor to move forward. I know a lot of people have UCLA in that situation. I'm still going to ride with Baylor to Elite Eight. I'm taking Kentucky at the bottom part of that bracket over Purdue. I do think Oscar Tshiebwe is the National Player of the Year. I think when they play at pace and they can defend the bigs of Purdue well enough, I think that's helped them and they move on. I like their path a lot to get to the Final Four.
Baylor, Kentucky, who's going to the Final Four?
I do think now the lack of a physical presence, the freshmen Kendall Brown and Jeremy Sohan that have been stepping in and they've played differently since Everyday John has been out. I think that kind of comes to fruition here. I think with Oscar Tshiebwe in the interior, other 4 and 5 men they have to work for Kentucky, guys are making shots, playing at a high level. And again, defensively, I know they haven't been great late in SEC play. They still have the capabilities to do that. I like Kentucky in that game to move forward to the Final Four.
All right, from the east to the south, Arizona versus the play-in winner. There's not going to be an upset here, right?
Nah. And I've been on Arizona since January when they were 15-1 to win the title. I pulled that one out. Now they're about 6 or 7 to win a title. So I've been on them for a while, and you'll see that doesn't end at the end of this. It just keeps going. So Arizona wins. They roll through. I'm going to take TCU over Seton Hall. Houston over UAB. Illinois and Chattanooga. I think this is a really good game, actually. I think Chattanooga has really good guards. Sylvia DeSosa transferred in from Kansas. They have big physical guys. I don't think they win the game, but the spread is 7.5. Give me the Moccasins and 7.5 points. Michigan, I do think they beat Colorado State. I think that Colorado State struggles with size. Hunter Dickinson's an absolute mountain of a man. Tennessee is underseeded. They should be a 2 seed. They are 3. I think Tennessee beats Longwood. Loyola Chicago, not because of Sister Jean or what they've done in the past. This is a good team, well-coached team. Drew Valentine taking over for Porter Moser. Veteran group of guys. I like them to beat Ohio State, who's been wildly inconsistent. And then Nova taking down Delaware.
I mean, I'm always rooting for Sister Jean, so let's go.
Well, there you go. I feel like I'm contractually
it
obligated to mention her, so I did that already. We're good.
Yeah, no, appreciate it. Thank you. All right, second round. Talk to me.
Arizona TCU, like Arizona's length, athleticism, even without Kirk Kriisa, he's still hurt. I still think they take care of the Horned Frogs. Not an easy game, but a game that they win because their versatility, ability to score in different ways on offense, coupled with that defensive versatility. Houston, Illinois. Houston just doesn't have the bodies anymore without the injuries or the scoring potency to hang with Illinois. So I think Illinois does win that game. Michigan, Tennessee, give me Tennessee. Loyola, Nova, in a game that's going to be an interesting game, a game of high-level fundamentals and a lot of tough teams and great cultures on both sides. I think Nova wins that game. And again, I'm chalky. I'm just chalky across the board as I look down at this. I haven't really looked at it in its totality. Arizona, I think, moves forward. I do think they have the bigs to guard Kofi Coburn and take care of him. And I like their guard play more in terms of versatility. Tennessee and Nova, I do have Tennessee winning this game. I think Tennessee can play defensively. They're still an elite defensive team. Their guards, Sakai Ziegler, his emergence throughout the course of the last 2 months has made them different. Kennedy Chandler, the other freshman, has always been different. Josiah Jordan James, Santiago Vescovi have been really good. So they've got a lot of different guards that can make plays and score, and they also can take care of things in the defensive end. So I like Tennessee to beat Nova.
All right, so you got Arizona, Tennessee. Who's going to the Final Four?
I think Arizona wins that game. It's a rematch. They did play in Tennessee back in December. That was in Rocky Top. Arizona played the worst half in recorded history. I think they could have played. They scored like 22 points. Now, in the second half, they had like 52, and they ended up losing by a couple. I think it was by 4 points in the end. But both these teams are different. I think Arizona is just better, and I think Arizona moves forward.
To the Midwest, it's Kansas taking on the play-in winner.
Kansas wins. Let's take them. I like San Diego State over Creighton. If you take the under. There will not be a lot of points scored in that game, but I do like San Diego State to find a way to get a win in a very tight game. Iowa over Richmond, and then South Dakota State. They have Baylor Shireman, a very versatile player of the year in the Summit League. They shoot the ball at a high level. We X and O this thing to death. You make shots, Victoria, it's easier to win the game. And South Dakota State makes a lot of shots. Providence plays in a lot of close games. They play with a small margin of error. I think that catches up to them here. So I'll take South Dakota State in that game. LSU, Iowa State. Give me Iowa State in that game. I do think this whole region, the Midwest, could be complete chaos. So I got the 11-6 game, Iowa State beating LSU, forcing turnovers, causing that offense that really can struggle in the half court to struggle. I do take Wisconsin over Colgate, high-scoring game. Colgate, I think, will give them a run for their money. Miami, 10-7, beating USC. Their guard play is outstanding. USC's got great length, but I don't think they're really going to be able to guard them at the level necessary or score at the level necessary. Auburn over Jacksonville State. Is this going to be just controlled chaos in the second round? It could be. I mean, literally, I could see every higher seeded team losing in this round to their opponent. But I do see Kansas find a way to beat San Diego State. That's going to be a tough game to really challenge the toughness of Kansas, but I think they find a way. I like Iowa over South Dakota State, so Iowa moves forward as the 5 seed. Keegan Murray's an absolute stud. They've been playing at a high level. I like the way they're changing up defenses. They've been better defensively, which has always been their key issue. Iowa State, Wisconsin. I will take Wisconsin. And I will take Auburn to beat Miami in a game where they play in their controlled chaos. I'm not sure Miami's going to be able to handle the size at times of Jabari Smith, who's going to guard him with the multiple guards they have. And also Sam Wardenberg having, struggling at times to deal with the size of Walker Kessler. We'll see how that works out. So that's where we go. I do think Kansas beats Iowa in a really entertaining game between two of the best offenses in the country. I think both in top 10 and adjusted offensive efficiency. Auburn and Wisconsin. I've struggled with this one. I'm going to take Auburn. They could lose in the second round, but they have Jabari Smith. I just mentioned Walker Kessler. I think obviously when they don't make shots, anybody can beat them, and we've seen that in the last couple of weeks. But they still have this gear that if they are making shots and they're playing free, they're just so hard to beat. So I'm going to put them in there in the Elite Eight. Kansas, Auburn. Who's going to the Final Four? I got KU. I think KU is going to find a way to get it done. I think also just in terms of being able to play at a tempo, they can play at tempo, but they can grind it in a half-court game at times and play in a controlled environment and find a way to make the requisite plays offensively, but defensively, where their issues have been maybe find a way to hide it. In late game, they've been in so many tight games and learned how to play in late game situations. Auburn has really struggled. Their guards just don't realize that Jabari Smith is a top 3 pick. Give him the ball. He can't get him the ball late game. That's a problem that they haven't remedied yet. So I think in tight games, I think Kansas is more comfortable and they win that game.
Who's going to the big game? We'll
start on the left side. I do think Texas Tech and Kentucky is going to be a great game. I like Kentucky, though, just the prowess to score a little bit more and have Severe Wheeler be able to create a little bit more and Ty Washington. I think Kentucky at their best on both ends is slightly better than Texas Tech at their best on both ends. So I like Kentucky to get to the final. Arizona and Kansas, I do think it's going to be a great matchup. I think it would be interesting to see the length and athleticism of Arizona. How do you deal with Ochai Agbaji? How do you try to take him out of the game? Their length inside, I think, will be a factor without a doubt for David McCormack, but also the rim protection that they can provide. Christian Koloko, one of the best defenders in the country in terms of rim protection. So I like Arizona in the final against the Cats.
Arizona, Kentucky. Who's taking it home and what score?
Oh, that's right. 78-74. For the first time since 1997, a Pac-12 team, or at that time a Pac-10 team, and that team was Arizona, is going to cut down the Nets again in New Orleans. No team has won in that conference since then, and I think they're going to go back there and do it. I do think this would be an outstanding matchup with Oscar Tshiebwe and his physical prowess in the interior, but also just the rebounding element of it. There's going to be a toughness factor about it. There's going to be playmaking about it. There's great players on both sides. Ultimately, I think Arizona, as a team, again, with their upside on both sides and their ability to be consistent through the course of the game and not maybe suffer scoring droughts and play at tempo consistently, will be the deciding factor in a game against Kentucky, which I hope and would love to see. And I'd love to be right, but I'd love to see the game because I think that would be really fun.